Hi guys, today I will be explaining scary things that really happen to people. Before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more horror that will keep you awake at night. In Japan, an office worker stayed late at her building in Tokyo. When she stepped into the elevator, the lights flickered and the doors closed without her pressing anything. Instead of stopping at the ground floor, the elevator carried her down to a basement level that did not exist. The doors opened to a hallway lined with doors, and every handle rattled as if something inside was trying to get out. Suddenly, they all slammed shut at once, and the elevator rose back up. Security said the building had no basement at all, and camera footage showed the elevator never moved from the ground floor. In Los Angeles, a woman noticed her dog barking every night at the attic door. She thought it was mice, until she found dirty dishes in her sink that she had not used. Police searched and discovered a man living in the crawlspace. He had been watching her from the vents while she slept and moving through the house at night. The woman never returned to the house again. A driver in Arizona picked up a hitchhiker late at night. She quietly asked him to drop her near a cemetery. When he stopped, she thanked him and stepped out, but when he checked the mirror, she was gone. The car door was still open, and her footprints ended at the cemetery gate. Locals said the girl had died years earlier on that very road. Two students in Russia rented a cheap apartment. They began hearing scratching noises inside the walls. One night, blood started seeping from the plaster. Police broke it open and found a mummified body hidden between the bricks. The building owner from years before had been missing ever since. The students left and never returned. In New York, a woman came home after midnight and noticed her front door slightly open. Thinking she forgot to lock it, she stepped inside only to find her belongings moved. She set up a hidden camera. The footage showed a stranger crawling out of her cupboard at night, wandering around her home, then climbing back in before dawn. The man had been secretly living there for weeks. Police said he survived by eating her food and drinking her water as she slept. In Mexico City, a taxi driver picked up a woman wearing a white dress. She asked for a ride home, but when they arrived, the back seat was empty. Only a puddle of water remained. The family told him their daughter had drowned years earlier during a flood. The driver swore he would never drive that road again after dark. In England, a family bought an old house and discovered a locked room behind a wall. When they forced it open, they found children's drawings on the walls and small toys left behind. Soon after opening the room, they began hearing crying at night. Guests reported seeing a small figure at the end of the hall. The family sealed the door shut again, but the sounds never stopped. In India, a boy was walking home when he noticed someone following him. Every corner he turned, the figure stayed just far enough back. He finally rushed into his house and locked the door. Looking from the window, he saw the figure standing still at the gate. He blinked and it was gone. Neighbors told him that many people had seen the same figure on the road, always silent and always watching. These stories prove that terror is not always fiction. Some come from ghosts, some from strangers, and some from secrets buried deep inside walls. What matters is that real people lived through these moments and carry the fear with them every night. In Ohio, a guy kept hearing weird scratching sounds coming from his basement. He thought maybe it was rats or something small, until one night he went down there and found a blanket and half-eaten food hidden behind the furnace. Turns out someone had actually been living in his basement for weeks without him even knowing. When police searched more carefully, they found a crawlspace that the intruder had turned into a little hiding spot. Imagine realizing a stranger was sharing your house at night while you were sleeping upstairs. Another story comes from a group of hikers in Scotland. They found this abandoned stone cottage in the woods and decided to spend the night there. They built a fire and tried to get comfortable, but kept hearing heavy boots pacing across the floorboards. Every time they checked with a lantern, no one was there. In the morning, they saw wet, muddy footprints going across the room, but the tracks just stopped in the middle of the floor, as if whoever made them disappeared into thin air. In Chicago, a nurse was finishing her shift and walked past what she thought was an empty patient room. She saw an old woman sitting in a chair, clear as day. She called another nurse, but when they came back, the room was locked and nobody was inside. Later that same morning, a patient passed away in the bed against that wall. Staff say that over the years, different people have seen the same woman in white sitting in that chair right before someone dies. Germany has one of the creepiest cases. A family bought an old farmhouse and found a series of tunnels underneath the property. At first, They thought it was just part of the foundation, but soon doors started slamming and footsteps echoed through the floors. Their youngest daughter told them a man was calling her name from under the house. When investigators explored the tunnels, they found signs that someone had been secretly living down there years earlier. Nobody knows who it was or how long they stayed. Canada has its own legend. A truck driver was driving during a heavy snowstorm when he saw a man walking along the highway. He picked him up to help him out. They talked for a few minutes, but when the driver looked over again, the seat was empty. The only thing left was melted snow and a wet jacket. Locals said this wasn't the first time. Other drivers had seen the same ghostly hitchhiker during storms on that road. Then there's the story of a college student in Texas. She was up late studying in her dorm when her phone buzzed with a new photo. It was a picture of her sitting at her desk, but taken from outside her window. She panicked and called security. They checked and found footprints in the dirt below, but nobody around. She was so shaken, she moved out of that dorm and never went back. And one more for you. A couple in France bought an old mirror at a flea market. At first it just seemed like an antique, but soon they started hearing whispers in their bedroom. Strange handprints and smudges appeared on the glass even though they cleaned it. One night, the husband woke up and swore he saw a dark figure standing inside the reflection. There was no one in the room. The next morning they smashed the mirror, and after that, the activity stopped. Stories like these remind us that fear doesn't only come from movies. Sometimes it's a stranger hiding in your walls. Sometimes it's a ghost on the side of the road. And sometimes it's something darker attached to an object in your home. And the people who lived these experiences will never forget them.